Welcome to the follow-up LabVIEW video that will show you how to get started in LabVIEW and a few best practices for using the software. So I'm going to go ahead. I just opened LabVIEW on a CETA computer. So, well, this is my CETA computer, but it's the same LabVIEW. You just use the Start menu to find it. And I'm going to close out of this pop-up, come to File, and choose New VI. And you can create projects, but for the amount of software we're doing, New VI is the easiest way to get into a virtual instrument, which is a program in LabVIEW. And so one of the things that I will often do is, under the window, you can tile left and right. And what that automatically does is it tiles your two windows for your program or virtual instrument side by side to fill the screen. Now, that's not going to work for this video, so I'm going to rearrange my screens now a little bit, but you might find that that helps you when you're working in class or on your own computer even. So bear with me for one moment while I get this size so you can see everything. Okay, we've already talked about the fact that you have a front panel and a block diagram, and here it is live in the environment. When I click on the front panel, so you may not have any tools open. If you right-click on the front panel, you can open up your controls. Controls are all of the things that the user interacts with. That's numeric tools and Booleans. On the block diagram, again, if you don't have your window of tools open, just right-click, and then you can thumbtack it open. And so here are some of my best practices in LabVIEW. First of all, I like to start with a while loop that has a stop button attached. It just makes it easy for the user to stop running the program eventually and to start it. So I come to the Express toolbar, Execution Control, and I grab the while loop with button. You click it once in this screen, you come over to block diagram, drag it open and in, I draw my square basically, and there we go. I have my stop button with my stop condition, and on my front panel, a stop button has shown up. I often will make that a little bit bigger than the default, just so that it's easy to see. Okay, so another good practice to get in the habit of is to double click on your block diagram, and let's add names, maybe even your section number. And what is this program trying to do? This is an example. Okay. So always comment your code, and the first comment should generally be who wrote it, why did you write it, the context, and then what is the program supposed to do. In my front panel, best practice is to write some instructions. So I don't have anything programmed in here yet, but I should generally have a name of the program, and then what should the user do? Do they enter numbers into a box? Do they press a button to continue? Do they select units out of a drop-down menu? What are the things that the user needs to know? I would put that here in some big, bold lettering. In case you were interested, if you highlight text or just highlight a text box, I think, you can come here, you can make font bigger, you can change it to, bold. You can even choose coloring. I'm kind of a purple fan, so here we go. Let's get a nice bold color going. So we can customize this window. The last best practice, so what we've talked about so far is the while loop with a stop button. What that means is I can run my program using the arrow, and then I can stop my program using the stop button. The other option is to run continuously and abort with the stop sign, and that's not good for our DAC units. It's not a clean way to program. The better way is to use a while loop with the stop button and to end your program that way. So Best practice number 1, while loop with a stop button. Best practice number 2, comment your code. Best practice number 3, tell the user what to do. And then the last thing I want to show you in this video is just when you add controls, indicators, tools, you have the option to name them. So when I asked you to make a program that adds X and Y, I highly recommend you rename your inputs X and Y so that the user knows what to do and that it matches the program description. So anytime you add something, maybe I want this to say output X plus Y, okay? I can rename these. They rename on my front panel for easy use with the user, and they rename on my block diagram so that I know what variable I'm modifying. So that would be my last recommendation at this point. That should be enough to get started. Remember to poke around in the toolbars. You'll find a lot under programming. You'll find some tools under, so on the controls, most of them are under modern. Poke around here, and on the block diagram, most of the tools you use are under programming. I hope that's enough to get you started. I have had some questions about how to access LabVIEW. If you do a quick search for LabVIEW student trial, I think you should find the forums and the NI links to getting to that. So, you can check out the forum, make sure that you're finding what you need. You can also just poke around on NI about how to buy NI and then look for the student version. If someone finds a link and you want to share it with the group, there is a discussion forum active on the Brightspace page. You can feel free to do that. Otherwise, it's just on your start menu, which is unfortunately outside of the screen of my window here. But in the CETA suite, just type in LabVIEW and you should find it there. So that concludes this best practices and intro to LabVIEW.